Coach White earlier today was bragging about you a little bit and said he felt you might have looked better and more comfortable than since when you arrived here today.
Yeah.
What made today's practice so good for you?
Just from the previous practices, trying to clean up my little mistakes, not making the same mistake over and over again, and just being an older guy, having to polish up on my techniques, polish up on the playbook from my end, because I got the younger guys that ask me questions, so I have to be able to know it and be able to help them out as well.
How much different is this system that you're playing in now from what you came from?
It's just a little bit different. They get from a 3-down front to a 4-down front, do different multiple things on defense, but it's very, very similar, cover three, quarters. So just being able to kind of play in a much similar system is very easy for me.
Landyn, Coach White just talked to us about kind of your pass rush potential, and I know you did a little bit of edge stuff with Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Just what can you bring to the defense in that, and why do you think that's something that you're good at?
I definitely bring a lot of versatility to the defense. I started my career at TCU as a defensive end. All high school playing defensive end. So me making a transition to linebacker in the middle of college is, I thought it would be great to, add more versatility to my game. Being able to stop the run, being able to rush, being able to cover, just being able to do everything or do anything that the coach asked me to do in the field.
Every year we hear we've got to get to the quarterback. We hear it almost. I haven't heard it as much this year, but obviously that's a staple. What is the key to get there? Because the size UK had in years past didn't get there. Speed sometimes did get there. So what do you say?
I say just, everybody doing their job. The way our defense works, everybody does their job. One person's going to get that one-on-one battle with somebody, and it's their job to win. And, when you get that one-on-one battle, you got to make the most of it. So I feel like defensively, we've done a great job of everybody doing their job and everybody not trying to do too much, trying to make a play. Just know the play is going to come to you if you do your job.
When you got into the portal, why was Kentucky so attractive to you?
Definitely, the track history of linebackers coming out of here. There's a lot of great linebackers that came out of here. Great defensive system. Sitting and talking with Coach White, he knows a lot of ball. Coming from the NFL, knows what it takes in order to get to the NFL. So that's what definitely stood out to me and my parents. And obviously playing in the SEC. Kentucky has always been a good defensive school. Last year wasn't the best year, but we're trying to get back on top.
And Coach White said one thing about consistency. It's very broad, consistent here. What are the areas that need to be addressed quickly with that consistency? Because that can encompass a lot of things.
I say, just the little things. Scheme-wise, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Just cleaning up little technique issues here and there to have me become a better player or have me or to help me basically make a play. I feel like I could work on, what I'm saying? I always, know there's room for improvement. I always want to, get better with my game. I come out here and take every rep intentional to get better.
They told us they really thought you put good highlights on your tape, too, against strong competition. Is that something you felt like would translate well to the SEC level?
I'm just a ball player. At the end of the day, I don't really kind of look at competition level. I think ball is ball. At the end of the day, they could be a good opponent or a bad opponent. You still got to, line up and put the ball down and play ball. So I feel like just, not worrying too much on last year, just having to reprove myself and not going off of what I did last year, going off what I can do now. So.